So,
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to VR, AR, and the Karbala Metaverse. It is my honor today to host this. My name is Mehdi Reza. I am the founder of an organization called CyberX, where we do a lot of cybersecurity, VR, AR, Metaverse fun. And it is my honor today to be hosting this topic. It is a very personal topic because it deals with the heart. And throughout the years, as some of you all, you come across these beautiful videos that are built in Unreal Engine, which is a specific technology where you may notice a lot of movies and video games are made on. And I've been watching these videos over the years. Many of you probably heard of the VR Karbala. And over the years, you come across these. And I always said I would love to meet the person who actually was involved in creating this and leading this. As we started to, and I'm one of the volunteers at Hussain Global, as we started to put together the Hussain Global Conference, my first thing I said was, I'm going to figure out, inshallah, a way to get the person who was involved in creating this on. I messaged him and alhamdulillah, he replied with his humbleness. And today we are joined by Muhammad from Delzar Studios. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad. Where are you in? What part of the city are you in?
Assalamu alaikum, Mahdi. I'm in Tehran at the moment.
Nice.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Muhammad, can you do a little bit of an introduction and tell the viewers here today a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you for your describe of me at the beginning of my speak. I want to say hello to all dear listeners and viewers of this event, the Global Hussain. Assalamu alaikum, and will give my condolences for the martyrdom of Imam Hussain and all of his 72 companions in the Karbala. We make these animations. We start making animations about 6 years ago with the VR Karbala, and I think you see that, and many Muslims around the world see that in different countries. And after that, we make different animations for Imam Hussain, and we are making new animations and continuing making new animations for the Karbala, and that things happen in Ashura. And I hope anyone see that, give the emotional we want to give to the viewers, and pray the product team and every person who involved in producing that animations.
Thank you. So for the viewers, just so you understand, VR and AR. VR again is virtual reality. AR is augmented reality, and then the metaverse. Many of you are probably familiar with the term the metaverse, especially with Facebook, with the Meta. And we have all these major organizations around the world, social media especially, and big companies, big tech, that are creating basically a metaverse is a hypothetical iteration of the internet. It's immersive, it's virtual, and it's augmented. In summary, the metaverse is a network of 3Ds worlds focused on social connection. Now, the metaverse can be used for many things, from research to fun to entertainment, to video games, to everything. But today our focus is really on Karbala. And the core foundation of the metaverse, a lot of times, one of the applications used is Unreal Engine. And today, one of the things that we're going to look at, and I want to really get into the head of Muhammad here today, one of the most powerful videos, and there's all of them are powerful, but one of the most powerful videos that I came across myself, and I'm sure many of you see in different Nohis and Latmiyat and Azadari, is the video called Brother, which we're playing on the screen for the viewers here. Muhammad, there's a certain moment within Brothers where Hazrat Abbas, is heading towards the Nahr Farat, and every single detail is inscribed in it. And the way you've left creativity to the mind of the viewer, where you're not showing everything, but you're showing enough because people know about the story. What was your thought process in, for example, in developing this?
Before we start each of these animations and also the brother you mentioned, we read the maqtal, read the history books, and we want to make it true with the hadiths and the riwayat of those events. And we also give a script to some scientists, some ulama, I mean, and one of them is Ayatollah Safi Gol Payagani, that he demised in the 2 months ago, if I'm not wrong. And yes, he signed the script, and he signed that it's correct, it's historical, and it's good. And then we want to make this into animation, but some part of it we should make it artistic. So we all hear Rosa, we all hear what's happened in the Karbala and what's happened to Hazrat Abbas, and we only want to show a glimpse of what happened in there, and then the viewer can imagine of what he hear from past, and what he hear from the Rosa, and what he read in the maqtals and the books, and so he can see the images of we created, but also he can imagine what's happened, and he can synchronize the image with his learning and his thoughts, and that's what we want to do. We want to make the animation based on the historical event, and the historical event that is approved, and we all know about it, but leave some part of it to the imagination of viewers and their thoughts, and that's why we some part of it we don't make the animation for it. Yes,
of course. And I think everyone, even the viewers, can all agree, and this is pretty much one of those miracles of Imam Hussain, is whenever you hear the maqtal or you hear the stories of Karbala, and you close your eyes or you think about it, since whether you were a kid hearing about the story of Hazrat Abbas going to the water, you have a different vision of it when you're 10 years old. Then when you're 20 years old, it's different. Then you go to Karbala and you see where his arms were different. Then you hear more maqtal and it's different, and you see more perception and more love. And everyone has this vision in their head of what happened. One of the most powerful scenes in this video for me, I mean, all of them are, is this particular one that I'm going to show for the viewers and for you, Muhammad, is as Hazrat Abbas really turns around, and because they have surrounded him, or their objective is to attack him. When you build those scenes, what is going through your head when you're building those scenes?
What? For each shot, we have different imagination or different concept of what is best to show to the viewers, and we should choose which one is better and artistic way to deliver the emotional we want to the viewers. For example, we have some riwayat that's it say Hazrat Abbas come to the fraught with the horse, okay, and some of them, for example, say that he gone long, and you have some different in some of the hadiths and riwayat, but we see we want to make it historical and also artistic and the best image we can deliver to the viewers. So we should choose from the different images we have in our mind, and also we talk to, for example, the guy who want to make concept or a storyboard for the animations, and that's sometimes it's not one person decision. Yes, I'm the director, but we always do decision in our team. So we want to make it the best way we can, and that's why some of the shots is delivering the good emotional, and that's all of our best to give the better images we can to the viewers.
Of course, of course. And then again, right after that clip, you know, we have that clip of Hazrat Abbas at the water, and we all know the story of the women and children who have asked Hazrat Abbas to, you know, go and get water. And then you come to this image here. You know, you have the children, you have this little girl with, you know, a green hijab on, and, you know, instantly, without even looking at faces, without looking at anything, you know that that's Sayyida Zainab's, you know, to the right, and that's, you know, Sayyida Ruqayya or Bibi Sakina right beside her. And then you have these children just looking. One of the things that I wanted to ask you was the technical requirements for our viewers. I know there's a lot of young individuals that are watching that are maybe studying computer programming or graphical designing or Unreal Engine or building animation or whatever the case may be, or those that are looking to get into that field. You know, from a technical standpoint, and we're going to play this, you have the wind moving, you have this vision, you have Karbala from a distance, you have the camera panning. Can you guide us through some of the technical requirements in building this out, and in terms of every detail is built from, you know, built from hand? So can you tell me a little bit about the technical expertise required and experience that needed?
Thank you. Before we start to make the animation, we should make a storyboard out of our animation. So we make a rough sketch of the images we want to see, and that's the time the director, me, will consult with the storyboard artist and concept artist to make the storyboard, so we know what we want to see at the end of the animation. And after we have the storyboard, we should make a list of all the 3D models and simulations, VFX, particles, everything we need for every shot. So, for example, we know in the shot we need maybe 10 types of arrow. Some of them should be broken, some of them should be dusty, and etc. We need, for example, what kind of bushes, and how many palms, how many rocks, and also, for example, for the veil and the thing that's the women put on herself, chador. It's the Persian name. We want to simulate it with the wind, so it wasn't that easy, but we use, for example, Maya, Houdini, and some of them in Unreal to make the simulation, the cloth simulation. And for some shot we may have to simulate maybe 10 times to reach the simulation we want. And it will be for all of other assets. For example, when we want to create a character, the character artist will make it from the concept we give to him, and then it should be go back and forward with the director decision to make the all things looking right, the textures, the models, the anatomy of the body, etc. And it's need many tweaking to reach the final quality we want. It's not something that's you make it this and that happens. It's need many tweaking, and some of the technical is related to the program. For example, Unreal have some technical problem and bugs. Maya also, Houdini, and each one needs a technical guy to solve the problem and achieve the challenge he encounter to reach the goal we want. And I hope the final quality is good enough for the viewers. For example, the image that Hazrat Abbas put his hand on the water and give the water from the front. We have many simulations for that shot, and each time we have some bugs and some problem in it, and we have to conquer the challenge we have at the moment, and finally we conquer it with different tweaking and using the best program we have to use for example, for that simulation.
It was, I mean, whatever it was, I mean, I do believe you have the hands of, Hazrat Abbas involved in this and Imam Hujja, because what your final production at the end for that clip that you just mentioned, which we've showed to the viewers, is breathtaking. There's another clip that I wanted you to guide me through. I want to really understand your mind, or your team's mind, in this particular shot that I'm now playing, which is the lead up. Right. So this is a 4-minute, 57-second video clip called The Brother for the viewers. We will post it on our social media as well. And I'm sure many of you have seen it all around. But this lead up is, for me, the climax of this video. What was going through your head from an emotion standpoint as you guys finally said, this is what we're going to do?
Before Brother, we made VR Karbala. 2 years before we made Brother, and that was somehow a big production of ourselves. There's 40 people involved in the project for about 8 months to make the VR Karbala happen. And after that, we want to make a good story for television with the another artistic view of the Maqtal of Hazrat Abbas, but without showing what's we read in the Maqtals, because we cannot tolerate that in the TVs. And we want to make it something emotional, and some good parts of it. That's, for example, we know that Hazrat Abbas, they cut their hands in the battle, but also maybe he has many cuts if we see the Maqtals, for example, his eyes, etc. But we cannot show everything. We only show the things that we can. It's not something that make the viewers discuss the scene and don't like it, but give the emotional, and the image should be sync with what he or she read and hear in the Rose and the books. And one of the other artistic parts that I think it's important, that's the time that Imam Hussain come to the body of Hazrat Abbas, and we want to show only some little shots of that moments, not too many shots, because we only want to, I said that, show a glimpse of what happened and leave the other to the imagination of the viewers. And that was enough for us, I think.
It was and I think it was very classy. And it was very respectful, because we all know, and many of those viewers that are watching, for example, the movie Matrix, a lot of it was built on Unreal Engine. Now, can you show graphical things of someone's arms getting cut off, or falling off a horse, and blood, and those things? You can on Unreal Engine. Actually, you can probably do one of the best work versus real life. But the fact that you chose not to go into those details is actually very classy, and that's what really makes this video more powerful, because you suggest and you give glimpses. There's images of Imam Hussain walking towards, and all you need to do is just see 2 seconds of his hands behind his back. To everyone, you know exactly what that is. So It was beautiful. The other video that I want to, which is again another powerful video that we're sharing for our screen here, which is where you've really brought the Imambargah, you've brought the tents and you've brought you have this glimpse of the horse, and you wonder, is that Imam Hussain? Is that Hazrat whose horse is that? What is happening? Please tell the viewers what they're seeing here, and give us a vision of what was the thought process behind this video.
This video exactly creates simultaneously with the brother. For the brother, Delzar Zainab, and Sunset or Ghurub was built simultaneously in 1.5 months, all three of them. And we want to make it to the Muharram, so we don't have many time. The Delzar Zainab, what you see in the screen now, is I want to make something all emotional without any character in it, only environments, scents, and low voice and sounds. It's the other will leave to the viewers. Imagine. When you hear the sounds, the maddahi, the screen, you know what's happening. You see at the battlefield, you see corpses, dead bodies, you hear some voices, you know what's happening, and then you see the burning tents, and that's after the battle and after everything is finished. And also when you see that, you know what's happened there at the moments, and there's no need to see characters. I think for example, if we want to make maybe some girls running when his scarf or when his cloth burning, but we decide to don't do that. Only make it environment and leave everything to the viewers with seeing the scenes.
And I mean, and then you move into, in the halfway into this video, which is a 4-minute video, you quickly go into from, a moment of death or the end to a moment of the next stage, which is of the burning of the tents. And very quickly you start going from burning of the tents to now kind of visualizing and taking the viewers inside the tents. And you see the Zuljana go across. I mean, it's one of the things, the first time I ever saw this, and I never met you, and, you cry because the first time you see it, every time you see it, it just, there's details in everywhere that you've done. That's what makes this truly fascinating. Just to end this segment of this conversation, which is the video side, I know we have about a minute left on this video. There's some powerful scenes coming up at the end. Just did you want to say anything about these powerful scenes here?
About the details you mentioned, yes, it's really important for us to make the best detail we can. For example, for the lights, for Unreal Engine, it's not the real world. We can use as many lights as we want. And for example, the rim lights in the shield or the arrow or the pillar that hold the tents, we make specific lights for those parts to, for example, maybe for a simple rim light, simple fill light of one of the scenes or one of the models. And that was important for us to make it as real as possible with the short time we have. I told you, we make it in 1.5 months. Yes, if we have more time than that, we can make it better, but we do all our best to make the best details we can to put on the image. And even maybe, for example, in Brother, when the camera come from the ground to the up of the horse in the first shot, in the ground we see pebbles, little branches, everything that make it look natural. That's important for us. We don't like to make it, for example, make something cartoony or fantasy, because it's a realistic animation and it should deliver the emotion, not for entertaining the people.
How does it feel for you and your team to see that the image that we saw, one of the images where we paused at, where we saw Sayyida Zaina with Bibi Sakina and the women and some of the kids posted on the wall of the shrine of Imam Hussain in Karbala? I don't know if you know this, but this year I went for Ashura, and on towards Babi Qibla, on the right-hand side, they have this massive on the wall of Imam Hussain on the on his dome, not on his dome, but on the exterior wall of his shrine. They have this shot. Were you aware of that, or did you know? This year they had that.
Sorry, I didn't understand the
So,
question.
you know, one of the images that you had, which was, let me just pull it up here with the brother. It has the, let me just actually pull it up here. Actually, I'm not even pulling it up. It's the viewers that are watching this. But this right here, and for the viewers, we're just going to pull this up as well, just so you can see this shot here. For those that went to Karbala for 2022, will notice that on the exterior in Karbala, on the Haram of Imam Hussain, you know, one of the images they have all the time is of Hazrat Ali Asghar, where you have this word, you know, on one side. But this year on the right side, so if you're standing in front looking from Hazrat Abbas is behind you, on the right-hand side, they had this image, a big humongous poster made out hanging on the right side of Imam Hussain on the building structure. Were you
That's
aware?
great. No, I didn't know that. I'm hearing from you for the first time. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I'm hoping to see it.
I will send you. So there's a couple of video YouTube clips that I then saw after, and I was like, oh, it's there.
That's great.
And I thought maybe you knew about it, but now that you're hearing about it for the first time, and I know, you know, one of the things, and I want to let the viewers know, you know, when I reached out to Muhammad and I said, hey, we would like to use it, with such humility, you said, go ahead and use it. There was no like, oh, this is my copyright, this is my work. No, no one allows to use it. I see your videos, these videos in majlises, I see them in latmiyat, I see them in nohes and everything, people using these images for their message. So how does it feel knowing right now that your hard work and your team's hard work of countless hours and the vision was actually on the wall of Imam Hussain on Ashura?
Really, that's a great sense for us when we can see that we make some images that everybody else can use it. The image is not for us. We make it public and free for everyone, so they can see that, they can use the image, and they some of them put their version of audio in the image, for example, the Turkish, the Arabic, etc. audio, and that's good, because what we want is to make the hearts of the Muslim and Shia to cry for the Imam Hussain, and that's what we want. If they can use our images, I hope Imam Hussain will look at us and our team and help us to make better production for him. And that's something that's really, I believe that it's the risk and ruzi that they should want. If someone makes something for them, and it's really good if you make something and other moments, other Muslims see that and cry with that and sense with that. That's all we want. Not only me, also the team. Really, they will be glad.
Of course, please, yeah, please send our salams to them and our thanks to them. And I mean, at the end of
Thank
the day,
you.
we all know the hadith that, if a reciter makes someone cry, what kind of merits are those? You're doing something that is similar, right? You're providing these audio, visual, multimedia production at no cost to people out of the love of khulus and humbleness of Imam Hussain with no copyright. And every tear that is shed by a person who watches or learns more or is pulled towards this cause, I mean, the reward is another type of reward for you. I want to switch gears now very quickly because I know we don't have too much time, but I do want to talk about an important thing. And that was, I think it was about 6, 7 years ago. From what I remember, I was on Arbaeen. We were walking and we stopped along the way and we saw a whole bunch of people wearing these VR glasses. And what's interesting is about 4 or 5 years ago, I myself in my cybersecurity world, we were building out VR games. So here we were building out VR cybersecurity technical games, and you, brother, were building heaven for yourself. And so I looked at it, and I remember I put it on. And I know at that time I was with some people and they're like, oh, VR, you can't get into VR and this and that, because it's very hard for people to understand VR, the Oculus device, and how does it work and what does it make you feel like. But we know now with Facebook and Google that the VR world is very quickly approaching where people will be meeting for work in VR. People will be shopping in VR. People will be visiting the metaverse in the VR, etc. So you were very cutting edge. You were very early in production of VR. And one of the videos we're playing right now is Brother, or from the inspiration of Brother. Guide me through how it is that you put together VR, and what was your thought process originally when you said, hey, we want to start VR?
At the beginning of starting working in VR, the VR Karbala, I mean, so this shot is made after the VR Karbala and after the Brother, but VR Karbala is made before that. And if we don't make VR projects before VR Karbala, and not only us, not the near peoples and artists or studios that we know make something we want to make in VR. And yes, that was a really challenge for us to start something. You are completely new to that and you want to make it as super realistic as you want. At the moment, we see maybe tons of videos of VR, but we don't find even one realistic animation in VR.
That's right.
We found 360 movies,
not the same,
and fantasy VR, but not realistic VR animation, and that's make our path harder. But we start research and development, and we studying VR. We read the articles, everything we want for the VR, and it's something like an ocean. We know that we should dive to it, and after we know that we can dive, we can swim. At the moment, yes, we dive to the ocean and we start making our version of animation in VR. And in the process, in the 8 months of process of VR Karbala, we have many challenges and many technical problems, but with the help of Imam Hussain, we conquer all of the challenges and make the VR what we want with the time we have to make the VR Karbala. And after that, we know the pipeline. We can make it much faster and the better quality. For example, this shot, it's a single shot, 1 minute single shot for the environmental animation for martyrdom of Hazrat Abbas, but the quality is one level higher than VR Karbala. And
and this is built on Unreal Engine, correct?
Yes, it's all of the animations made in Unreal Engine.
And I know for the viewers, it looks a little bit strange, but what is happening here is if you were to put on a Oculus device, you're able to actually look around, you're able to look up, you're able to look back. And what you're doing is here, because it's an MP4, you're not getting the full understanding of it, but truly you feel like you are there. It is one step closer to you are there. And I want to talk about this for a second. one of the things that we are looking at, and I know you and I have talked about this, and one of the things we are going to ask the viewers for their help as well is how do we use this for education? Because really, at the end of the day, you can educate young people, old people, people in different languages, people with accessibility issues. Through VR. You can take them here, you can take them to Karbala, you can take them to Najaf, you can take them really to Iran, you can take them to the harams where their history is, and they can walk around and interact with the environment. So moving on to some of your, some of the other things that you're doing with VR. For example, I know you're working on a Hajj project. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the other amazing things that you are working on?
We are not only making animation in our studio, we also make simulations and games. And for that, we know about the educational simulation and how we can use VR for the educational. For example, the latest of our project is VR Hajj, and that's is for teaching the Hujjaj to how they should react when, for example, they go to the Masjid al-Haram, the Tawaf, the Ramya Jamarat, the Safa Marwa, etc. For example, before the simulation, when a Haji want to go to the Mecca, to Arabistan, he should go, for example, in a mosque, and one guy should teach him. So, for example, when you see the Kaaba, you should act like that. You should move like this, and etc. But in VR, when you put the glasses in your eye, you are put from the current position to the position we want. For example, you are in the Masjid al-Haram at the moment when you put the VR in VR Hajj, and that's amazing. You can see the Kaaba with Masjid al-Haram with all of the scale and exact reference that we have in real world. And when you are in the Safa Marwa, you are in the exact position, because we make it in the exact scale and the exact references we have for the details and the Hajj, Safa Marwa, Masjid al-Haram, etc. And that's really great, because you see the Masjid al-Haram before you go there, and you know exactly what you should do, and you also can make a virtually pilgrimage in that. Even it's for someone that maybe they cannot go to the Hajj, to the Kaaba, because of the budget, because of etc. And but when you put the VR in your eyes, it's really like that you are there. We showed the VR Hajj to the many people, and many of them really cry, and they really sense themselves in the Masjid al-Haram, in the Safa Marwa, in the Ram. Also, we make something that's no ordinary people can go. We make the inner Kaaba, so you can go into the inner Kaaba and see it for yourself. And we make it with the actual references that we get from the videos and images that we have, and that's really a great experience for the ones who can see. And the VR Karbala is the same. There's many people that cannot tolerate what they can see, because they see themselves in the Karbala. They see Imam Hussain in front of him. They see Hazrat Abbas in front of him, and they cannot tolerate them. And the brain really think you are in there.
Yeah.
Even we that see many VR projects, when we put the VR, we also think that we are in that place at the moment, and that's the power of this technology, and that's why the metaverse is going this way. So you can go everywhere you want without spending any money.
Yeah, and for the viewers here that are watching, look, and I know there's elders that are watching, the generation, we're in the middle, our generation, and then there's young. So I find that there's three tiers right now. There's the elders, I call the OG, the originals, right? Where it was very fundamental, it was very core. It was, if it's Majlis in Farsi, it's Majlis in Farsi. If it's Majlis in Urdu, it's Majlis in Urdu. And then there's this change that happened towards English, towards digitization, towards, the digital world. And there's a change of this guard. In addition to that, there's a change of urban and rural azadari, where you have urban is a little bit more conservative, relaxed in the city, and then rural, it's tatbir, it's loud, it's powerful. And you have this cross that are secting between each other. So to the elders that are watching, I know putting on a glass and seeing Karbala just sounds very like, wait a minute, that just doesn't make sense. But for a moment, when you get a chance, when your son or a young person is around, let them put it on for you. It will, once you try it, you will understand what these young people are doing, because this is the future for these young people. This is the world they'll be living in. For those that are in our mid-tier, which is like me and Muhammad, I know Muhammad is about 20 years old, I'm in my 40s, but for us, we are in the cut in the middle. And for the younger people, I ask you, to continue to help and develop these sort of projects. Please reach out to Muhammad or myself. We would love to, continue to build these things. One of the things I wanted to ask you, Muhammad, was about the financial sort of constraints. I know, if you have a lot of money, you put $1 million, $500,000, you can suddenly go out and create production movies, educational content, gaming content. You can create, a full production of work for the next generation. What are some of the financial constraints that you deal with? And, I know this is out of love, this is not for profit, so it makes it more difficult. But can you tell me about that?
It's really an important subject, the financial matter in the project, because each project, if you want to make it good and you make it the standard of the international standard, international animation standard, etc., you should put money for that, because you have to hire the experts for the project. You cannot make the good project with maybe some guys that only have 1 or 2 years of experience. We should put the guys, for example, at least have 10 years of experience in modeling, concept artists, animating, in rigging, etc. And that's the problem we have. But for the Karbala animation, etc., and VR Karbala, we know that there is no one can put the money to the table and we can make it, because it's not something the investor can get his money back. It's something come from your heart. We want to make it. We don't want to make money out of it. Yes, if we can make money out of it, it will be good, but we don't want it. So VR Karbala, we make with the donations, we make with the crowdfunding, and for many artists even work on the project, even don't get a penny. They do all of his work with his heart, really, and that's something that make it happen, because the budget we have, it's not high. We only have the thing that we can get from the maybe families and the persons, and the guy is the first guy behind the VR Karbala, I should say that is Hussain. Is Afghanistani Shia, lived in Denmark. He's one of the Denmark Shia, and he's the first one who have the idea of VR Karbala, and he talked to us, and we make a plan to make that happen. And yes, the budget is really hard, and it's not something you should wait for the budget if you want to make it that thing happen. And for the other project, for the other animation, we also make it with other projects money. So make other projects, and we reserve some money and put it on the project and make it happen. And then when we build it, we sell it to, for example, a TV channel to get the money we spend for the production, but without making profit for that. The profit, we hope we get another else in the from
for those
other
watching.
hands.
Yeah, we have a unique opportunity. Normally, if you want to put on a movie or a production, it costs millions and millions of dollars to do something. You have to hire actors and actresses and sets and physical and this and that. And it's,
Exactly.
a 3-year, 4-year project. We are in a unique opportunity within 6 months to 8 months with the right funding. A movie, a Hollywood style, high-end, high-quality movie can be made. Now, as Mohammed is saying, there's 2 tiers of anyone, right? Whether it's a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, an electrician, a programmer. There's there's us, which are just that know stuff, and then there's experts. If you're able to bring in experts that can add those final touches to make it look amazing, that is what can only come with people that have been doing it for 7 years, 6 years, that do it in the Hollywood production. And we have the ability to hire them. We have the ability to bring them in as consultants that can take something and go, do this, do this, do this, and suddenly take it from a 9.9 to a 10. So we're in a very unique, so I know we have a couple of minutes left, and I'm going to throw one more question to you, Mohammed, but I just want to make one plea to those that are watching. 2 things. Number one is, if you know of anyone that is young or old that wants to learn Unreal, that wants to get involved in giving back time to help the cause, which is really, the goal eventually is to really the metaverse, the AR, VR, to continue establishing content and building things, please reach out to us. If there's anyone here that is like, hey, you know what? And I never ever do this, but we're at a point now where if someone has the ability from a finance standpoint that can really say, hey, you know what? This is out of love. Let's go and build this. We have the opportunity. We have the team. Mohammed here can be easily reached out. They don't just do this for, Ehbed. He has his business. They actually do this for a living for other corporations. And just like him, there's many other people that I have met from across Canada and the US that have the capability. It's a matter of putting it together. So inshallah, we look to, hopefully for someone watching today that can. Now, last question, you have another video that you're planning on creating called Ali Akbar.
Yes,
what is the plan on that?
We are starting the project of Hazrat Ali Akbar, and it's one level better than our latest videos, I hope, inshallah. And with the artistic vision and also the storytelling, but also we want to make it similar like previous animations with the storytelling and emotional delivering to the viewers. We don't want to see everything. We don't want to show everything that's we cannot tolerate. That's important. We want to see the emotional parts of the Veda or farewell of Hazrat Ali Akbar to the Ahlul Bayt, to the ladies of the Haram, to the Imam Hussain, to the Hazrat Abbas, and then fighting him, and the Imam Hussain will come into his body. And I don't want to
no, please don't. And what is there an estimated date for that, or is there a timeline?
It will be ready for the next Muharram, inshallah.
Inshallah, yes. Inshallah. And again, and I know what Muhammad, what he paused and he said next Muharram, but really, can this be made, sooner? Yes, if we had the resources, if we had the budget, it absolutely can be, because it requires a team.
Exactly.
We at CyberX, when we build these things out, it's funny, Adi, who's one of our production engineers here, he's built out a video game. It took him, 7 months, one person. It took him 7 months, 8 months just to build out one snippet of a video game on Unreal Engine. One person sitting there doing it alone. Imagine if he had 50 people, it could be done in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, high quality people. So we're at this cusp where we have the ability to create the metaverse for Karbala, AR, VR. We have the ability to get leading edge. What we need now is the young people who are currently working full-time in digital studios and animations. If you have time to volunteer, we are looking for you, because we have the opportunity to really build these things out. I want to thank Mohammed It is an honor and a pleasure. It truly is. And, again, one of the most powerful things I saw was when I was in Karbala right now, I saw your work on the Haram of Imam Hussain. And to me, I said,
Thank you.
what a gift. What a gift to have that. I mean, what other acceptance do you need? So again, thank you very much for your time. Inshallah, we will have you on for many others. And again, if anyone wants to reach out to Muhammad, you can just go to Hussain Global. His bio's there. You can reach out on LinkedIn, Instagram. He's very responsive, very receptive. And thank you very much for everyone watching and tuning in. Get ready for our next session that we have coming up. And thank you again on behalf of Hussain Global. Fi amanillah, Khuda Hafiz.